Friends, I greet you, with you again, Puzin and Sergey, and that means today, no spinning or float rods on the tail. Only feeder, only modern donk. Let's see what we can catch today. Well, before we start guys, I wanted to show this one. Anti-beauty. Spring. The snow has melted. You can see what's going on the shore. It's just a quiet horror, quiet horror. Moscow shores. We haven't been like this for a long time, because in almost every video everyone reminded. Guys, please let's keep it clean. Clean up after yourself, you will see. And don't even think about talking about it. What are these professionals coming for? Professionals don't use such baits. Nobody eats this kind of chicha. A professional comes to fish. And not to fry shashlik and throw around this cellophane. Beer bottles. Athletes don't carry it with them either. Can you imagine what's going on? It's still impossible to dig it up now. It's impossible to even collect. It's just impossible to collect all of this. So guys, earnest request. I will remind you as often as possible, please collect your trash. In my version, always the package in which I buy the bloodworms. I also put the bait packs there. Newspapers and so on. If it works out I collect more trash, which is found on the shore. Now it's still frozen. It will thaw out a little later. Maybe all this can be collected somehow. Here the man has apparently collected a package, and then he left this package on the shore anyway. Then all sorts of crows fly in, crocodiles, seagulls and so on. It's all scattered in the wind, it's all flying. It's not hard for anyone to put this car down. Drive to the nearest trash can and throw it all away. Let's make the shores cleaner guys. Location. Well, not the most pop one, I would say. Lower part of the Moscow River, not so far from Moscow. Last year this place was quite crowded. For some reason there are few visitors here this year. Well, I was also walking with a spinning rod not long ago. I've ridden here a couple of times, beaten. Tease, so I decided to come and check it out anyway. The last couple of days on the Moscow River. Silent horror of the fish. Everything is sad, everything is boring, especially for the predator. Usually when a predator starts to sort of. He's being stubborn, he's biting well, now on all fronts everything. It seems like the fish has some understanding that there will be a flood soon, and this is some kind of spring theme. The fish is driven somewhere, while we are running around looking for her. Let's try to catch in this location. Depth here. Small about 3. Maximum 4 meters. On the right we have a little stream flowing out. Right now there is still frost of 2 degrees in the morning. 3 degrees then opal starts. This stream begins to babble. All this ends up in the water. Accordingly all sorts of bugs. Figashki probably end up there too. The fish is standing near this stream. Distance by example. This is 24 meters. This is exactly how this stream is washed out. Right here on the edge of this stream. I didn't feed this distance abundantly. I just marked it with 3 feeders. And accordingly the main distance. This is 39 meters, this is already closer to the main one. Channel ditch. But strangely enough, in the middle of the river it is quite shallow, and this small dump down begins. That's why we crawl with a marker, and we stick into such a soft one. Some eyebrow. She ended up in dirty leaves without particularly strong odors, but nevertheless I moved away from it a little upwards. It's so neat there, some kind of sand slope. I've fed all these 2 distances, respectively. Let's see what happens with the bait. Bait this composition. This winter was probably the most outstanding. More precisely, its components are 2 packs of capricious bite. Without any flavors and so on. It's a fish after all. Quite capricious all this winter. I didn't manage to catch any super trophies all winter. Hope, now there's a spring bite. 2 packs of capricious cool. Even at tournaments they show good results. So 2 packs of Capricious Cool for a cure. This season forever. And added Turbo Bream there. Turbo Bream last winter right here showed himself very well. But I didn't add it in full. So that it would be at least 50-50. Because for some reason this season, the pipes lie like this. They don't show outstanding achievements. In this composition, just on the water straight from the reservoir. The temperature is already so hot. At least 0 the wind is really starting to blow. But still got mixed up. Right on the water from the reservoir the food was slightly grabbed. But now everything seems to be fine with him. I didn't paint anything. The food is already there. In packs of the correct color, grayish black. On such a composition accordingly. I got confused. Where would we be without him? It's in the component. We have maggots. We have bloodworms. Be sure to follow the link in the description. Get a discount on the promo code Puzanov in the Kirill store. Good luck plus attention delivery all over Russia. I can't stop saying this because many from the regions write to me, says it's cool that you have it. Where to get bloodworms both in winter and summer, in any volume and so on. Guys, delivery all over Russia. I repeat, delivery throughout Russia. Order different volumes. Follow the link. See phones. Call me, write me. You will definitely get answers to all your questions. The living component is of course a small bloodworm. He is needed, he is important in his condition as well, when fishing. These are the pre-springs that begin. That is, it is the first days of March now, when the fish still seems to be crawling out of the deaf-eared, but it's not quite spring yet. Of course the fish will be more active there by the end of March, and just such detailed options for baiting. We most likely won't need a living component there. But we are starting, we'll see what we can come up with. The first hour can be called some kind of standard for this point. True, I fished at this spot last year. This year for the first time. The standard is that. Me and my friend. The bites happened almost immediately. The only thing is that I immediately visited 24, about check. Waited there for 2 to 3 casts for 2 minutes. 0 reactions from there. My friend just has it. Beak. With 30 plus. Small bream. Then the next bite just like that. On the next cast. Such a good already confident bream Granner 800. And there was silence. I also switched to my long range 39 meters. I also catch small bream. After him again the same 800th and silence also sets in, just absolutely mirrored. Then a little magic and witchcraft. I put a stamp on the feeder. As activity has dropped so that the food is washed away as slowly as possible. Leash 80 hook right from the start. I just installed Silver Roach 14. As always the most efficient, forever just disappears from stores. So you come with a counter and look, so Silver Roach 1 is unfastened. In size 14 it didn't become smaller. And the fish seemed to bite, that is, there were some pause gaps. medium small bream. Then continued the series. It was probably 3 or 4 fish that were caught in 20 minutes. 30. And there was silence again. After this silence, we caught 2 of these good ones there, 800 grams each. And on this the first hour passed. Well, then comes the ordeal and some attempts to change nozzles, feeds and so on. Odd didn't bring any results. We just watched for 20 minutes. How the top just doesn't even move. Tried slower. Tried to be more active. Reload and keep the pace. Nothing bears any fruit. Tried some flavors, 1 maximum 2. There are artificial fish, and psychological, as if the fish can't stay on the drain. But the interesting thing is that periodically just stands there, the top is pulled up, the smoke jumps off. But these are the same ones for the girls. Such slow and high amplitude indicate that it is not a small bream. This is a good big fish. She is at the point. As an option they came. Normal breams. Just captured the point. The small fish were driven out. They don't let her feed. Well, they themselves are standing there sorting through some food. I think we will figure it out and do some magic with this thing. I've already prepared the second form. I'll try to switch to the window. I left the leash the same. Length 80, serving 14th. If anything, we will decrease. Let's try to catch it on the window. This will be such a detailed presentation. Let's remove the food altogether. Let's reduce the dosage and try just pure. Sit on 1 cut. Right now everything is quiet. Like in a tank. It seemed like there was some movement, that is, there is fish at the point. I just have that feeling that someone is constantly climbing there. But for some reason the activity dropped sharply, most likely because of that the sun is almost at its zenith. And the depth is small. She drove the fish somewhere, although in theory, at such depth, the fish should already be out to warm up. My second gear is inspiration. With test up to 90, the feeder is like this, the 60 stamping I was talking about. Leash 80 hook I also said. Well, we'll try. I have already prepared the form now. Go to window. I'll try to catch some. Precisely in such a delicate presentation. It's already here. Brand new Coil brand Elegance. Series versus E2 430 size. This is my second or third fishing trip so far. I haven't even really counted it yet. I can only say 1. Good traction reel. But slow. For fishing enthusiasts. Outside of the sports format it will be just fire. The feeders there weigh 60, 70, 80. She pulls very well, but slow is not really relevant for sports. I have a form from the Elegant series. Method feeder. With dough up to 80 grams. In height 3 and 6, so cool. Almost a Provolic stick. Well, not that practically. I think it's much softer. And closer slow formation than all the other forms I have. Nevertheless, the formulation of the Method series suggests that this stick is soft. I actually catch fish while fishing 2-3 where distances allow. Conditions I almost always get it. I get pleasure from this. Build slowly. Long forgotten English slow build. Now let's try it on the window. And the second hour. Let's try to do some magic. By nozzle. They simply can't stand any maggots. The only option probably when you've already freaked out. I realized that there was a big fish there. Maybe she'll like some big attachments. Put 3 maggots. I just got some pressure from these 3. They came back not alive at all. So depressed. Both morally and externally. Yes. And the second throw, there was just 1 jerk. And that's how it all ended. Let's try it now. With a small window like this. Let's try in detail. To dig into such a presentation, let's try to examine the point to the left and right. Maybe it is. We'll bring some. But again, episodic fish. I don't think it will work right now. So we'll just continue the fierce battle. Well, let's see. Persuaded someone. I persuaded someone. And this is a bream. Let it not be large, but the most important thing is the reaction. To change the ligament. Appeared. The diet window worked. But the leash is wow. The hook and bait remained the same. They say that. Fish on point. Just says. Guys, let's fantasize and surprise. The fish in great condition is just going crazy. There's plenty of strength. This is such a bream, all to the edge of the lip. I hardly used the extract. Well, cool, that's all that matters. It's a process, in which we are poking around. We enjoy it. Especially ahead. Sports season. For many this will be useful. Poke around, figure it out. And not like sitting in winter. 140 gloves, 16 jackets. No, I won't do anything. Let them bite themselves. So. Sports season is ahead. These are the manipulations with constant selections. Are now extremely relevant. What is the theme for such a dietary presentation? Boar fruit. So the guys are just there. Want something new. But in fact, the window bears fruit. More than one fish has already been caught. Is coming to an abrupt end. We'll add more now. We are not greedy. I just take a pinch of bloodworms. I'm cutting it. Before that, soup. And I pour the food on top, without mixing at all. I need this soup. It just started to open when it hit the water. And maximum food, that we simply seal the open part of the window. So that there is no draft through the window. And like this. Submission option. Already brought. 5-6 fish. 2 of which are just such real breams. Kilo plus -1.5. But nevertheless the pace is still slow. One bite was simple. Curl of the lips. I think well that's it. Now you can sit for 20 minutes. No way, then another throw with the same feed. The feeder fell and on the 3rd second it just bends right away. And we'll explain how to lie down normally. Well again, that is, how to talk about that. That you can sit in the spring gluttony has already begun. It's not necessary at all. That is, there's no direct distribution of fierce. The fish are biting yes but. 1 hour is probably maximum. Something like that was systemic. Now it's always witchcraft. Another gloomy moment is coming. Maybe we'll try to go to some smaller hooks. Because there are contacts that end in nothing. It's just a touch and the fish throws a bunch. Which is already starting to pick on. These hooks feel. Let's try to be smart. We'll sit in this feed. The only thing that can be added to this feed, this is already try to charge a good concentrate. Aromatic. I have a favorite sport this year. Fish Company. It's already been poured in almost everywhere this winter. Very good stuff. For roach it works all year round. Tested at more than one tournament already. At festivals, various fishing trips and so on. Works from start to finish on roach just great. Let's try to drip it. Then switch to just pure food. I hope to invent something in these submissions. Catch up and everything will work out for us. We'll conjure for another hour at most. The wind is starting to blow so much already, but still sunshine. Spring hooray vitamin D. I even use my jacket as a windbreaker now. Didn't wear a jacket. I'll try to make some kind of a catch this hour. Well, let's see what happens. I think we will sum it up. It will be clear. I want to try to return to 24 again, because with this wind wave it is quite possible that the fish came to their shoreline. The upper layer of water is warming up more or less. I think that more warm water became the coastline. But more on that later, hee. The results are as follows. Somewhere in order. Oh well, 8 probably -9 kilograms. The head of the landing net is very large. It probably doesn't look very fashionable, but here are some examples. 600s, 800s. There were a lot of them. Moved to the near border. Nothing helped. Distant frontier. Again at the window suggestion. Periodically, fish like these were already biting. The big ones ran away somewhere. Beyond the distant horizon. Well, I decided to do the witchcraft on this one. That it's time to finish. These are such beauties. Today we got a few pounds of pecks. Well, I enjoyed it. I can say in conclusion that the water is as transparent as possible. Be sure to paint the food black. Or buy already baits that are originally painted black. Look for depths of about 4 meters. But for now we can only count on spring fishing. It is not necessary. So I think that the next fishing trip there will be probably somewhere in mid-March. I hope it will be more productive. I wish the same for you, and you still follow the link. See your discounts. Interesting offers from various companies. And most importantly guys, clean up your trash. Now we'll do that. We will clean up after others, but what about you? Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like. Be sure to share the video with your friends, and see you again on the pond.